Questions and answers. Akito wants to know, which cinematic intro took you the longest? Well, there's only a handful of videos that I would actually classify with cinematic intros. Those videos would be GTA 5 Shenanigans 8, Hunters vs Hunted, Quickies number 5, Dying Light the Following Funtage, Watch Dogs 2 Funtage, the Finding Bigfoot Funtage, and my first PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Funtage. Out of all of those, I would probably say that GTA 5 Shenanigans 8 took me the longest when it came to actually shooting it, because I had to figure out how the Rockstar editor works and learn how to snap the camera to certain positions and then have it track a certain character or move with a character. But the longest one that took me in editing wise would have probably been the Dying Light the Following Funtage, because I had to find the music for that first off. Then I had to find clips that suited it. Then I had to sync that all up. I had to also add these like little flashes, which took me about 30 minutes or so just to get all those little flashes done. And overall, I think that they've turned out relatively okay for my standards. I would watch them if I wasn't me. So yeah. Benson asks, what's a good jacket that has good pocket capacity but also has enough padding to keep you warm whilst protecting you from your daily beatings? It's gotta be the one that I'm wearing. It's really helpful when I wake up each morning to my dad just standing over me with a fucking bat ready to strike. Badger asked me on Twitter, why don't you upload, cunt? Well, the answer is actually rather simple. Uni's been taking a really big chunk out of my time as of recent. I've been really busy working on this documentary for our group project, which has been taking place over the last 13 weeks. And we only just met our deadline a few days ago. So it was basically me waking up every morning at 7 AM, going to uni for its opening at 8:30 AM, working non-stop till 11:30 PM, and then that's when they throw us out because university has to close at some point, and I would get home at 1 AM, fall asleep, wake up 6 hours later and just do it all again. So I realistically had no time at home to play games or edit. But whatever, I'm now on a 3-week break, so I'm planning on spending as much time as I can with that on the channel. Pluvio asks, why don't you study cinematic editing? At least that's what it sounds like you're studying. Well, I've been interested in media production ever since about 2011, and I was able to follow through with that in about 2012, when I signed up for our school's media class. I've basically been doing film-related stuff ever since. I took media all the way from year 9 through to my HSC, which is like the final exam that you do in New South Wales, which is where Sydney is in Australia. I then decided I wanted to go further with my filmmaking stuff, so I wanted to go to university, so I signed up for one of the unis in Sydney, and I go there now. And I've basically been learning cinematic stuff for a while. I've been working with some really big, heavy equipment, all those sort of things. But when it comes to the cinematic editing, like you asked in the question, I fucking hate it. Cinematic editing is so slow and so boring and so fucking tedious, especially when you watch the same scene over and over and over again, but something slightly different happens, so you have to decide, is this the right take? Okay, does this takeover for this other scene is really good as well. Do they flow together well? No. Well, now I'm gonna have to do something to fix it and blah blah blah. And not to mention that they make us use Premiere Pro, and I fucking hate Adobe Premiere Pro. It is the most useless program in terms of its user interface and just how like slow everything is. Like if you were to give me Sony Vegas at uni and tell me make a 30-second short on this, I could do it in probably about half an hour, because Vegas is just so quick and the user interface is so easy to understand once you actually know where everything is. And yeah, realistically the only good thing about Premiere is that you can just work side by side with Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects, and they'll like work together on the same timeline. Hi asked me on Discord, what made you choose the meme life? I wanted to say that the meme life chose me, but that would be really cliche and boring. For me, the meme lifestyle is probably traceable back to about 2013. Now I mostly get my memes on Instagram. Now trust me, there are an infinite amount of fucking shit normal memes with stuff like, who did this, Craig face emoji? But if you search hard enough, you will find some of the best shit on there. It's just about knowing where to look. The next question is from Corbrent. Why don't you stream on Twitch? First off, my internet is nowhere near the minimum speeds that are required to stream. In fact, I won't be getting the speeds necessary until about 2019 when the national broadband network actually hits my area of Sydney. I also don't find streaming enjoyable. You just sit there and play a game for a couple hours and people watch. What's the fun in that? If I wanted to do that, I would just go to like an arcade and stand behind people and watch them play like fucking Pac-Man or whatever. I don't like watching live streams either. They're boring. In fact, the only people I follow on Twitch are just the people that I play with, and that's because they're my friends. I just overall don't find it fun, and I would much rather spend that time putting effort into something that I know will entertain people rather than just sitting still playing like PUBG or something for hours on end. So yeah, that's why I don't stream. The next question comes from both O-Remix and Starlight, and they ask, where's Jack1011? I'll tell he's probably dead or something. I don't know, last I checked he was doing uni stuff and haven't heard from him in a while, so he's probably fucking kill. Rip Jack. As dead as his channel. Pluvio over on my Discord asks, how come you work as a bartender? How did it start and why exactly did you take that career? Well, first off, bartending isn't my career. It's more of just a job to help keep me financially supported until I get into the film industry or start doing YouTube full time, which I most likely won't ever end up doing, knowing that the state of the website is in these days. I started the job through a friend of my dad who owns one of the biggest hotel chains in Sydney, and he set me up with a nice hotel bar and I've been working there for quite some time. I like the job and the people I work with, so I don't think I'll be leaving there anytime soon. Denny asked me on Twitter, how big is your dignity? I'm not sure if we're talking about the size of my penis or my dignity, but I don't have either of those. My good buddy Hellhorse asked me on Twitter, are you going to be playing whatever Battlefield 2018 turns out to be? Most likely yes, I really love Battlefield 1 in the World War I setting. I liked Hardline just because of how much pure fun it was, and Battlefield 3 is still my favourite Battlefield game to date, so I think that in regards of settings, I've played them all. So I'm happy to play Battlefield 2018, just as long as it isn't something like, I don't know, fucking Battlefield Heroes, that game was fucking terrible. Dopey Egg asks, why do you hit fat whips more than heavy nays? Well, Eggman, I'd like to ask you the same question. And said that fat yet. Fucking dickhead. Oh, my Hillbilly asks, are we ever going to catch up? Yeah, sure, fam. Just name a time and place and we can hang out for a couple hours. I mean, if we don't live that far apart, just fucking we'll bull around for a while. Who cares? Six Remix wants to know, do you jack off with your left or right hand? Mate, I use my legs to get off, alright? Go hard or go home. Pluvio asks yet another question, that being, do you have any goals in life? It being a car you really want, a house, or moving into another country? I don't really care what car I drive, just as long as it takes me places that I need to go. For a house, I really just need one that has a decent internet connection and I'd be happy. And in moving to another country, I'd really like to move to the USA at some point in my life. Maybe after this whole Trump thing is over and the country isn't as fucked up as it is now. Oddly enough, I might be going over there sometime soon for my uni degree. I need to have at least 2 weeks experience in the field. And one of my cousins who lives in the US, she owns her own film company, so I might go over there and do some fucking work experience for her, who knows. Benson asks, what's your favorite and which would you recommend? Yes. Starlight says, will you ever collab with someone, and I don't mean your friends? I've played with people outside of my friends group before, although I haven't really collaborated with people other than like Lotus, Renzi, and Grizzy. They're really cool guys and I'd love to hang out with them more in the future, but who knows? I could get an offer from other people in the future and I'd be down to collaborate with them as well. O-Remix says, I'm only friends with you because you bring good content to the table. That's not much of a question there, mate. Might want to try that one again. Alpacador asks, how much thick do you own? Not much, to be honest. I should invest in thick, but I heard that their stock is in high demand right now. Mema69 and Badger asks, what about a face reveal? You know what? I think it's time. I've avoided this for so long, and I don't think I can keep it up. So here it goes. Zachary wants to know, what's your personal record for number of times you've wanked in a day?
That's my secret, cat. I'm always eating my meat. Hold on.
Thanks again so much for helping me hit 500 subscribers and for all the questions you guys asked me. Unfortunately, I was only able to answer about 20 of them, but I'm really grateful for the ones that I did get, and overall I just wanted to say thanks. So I'll see you in the next video, which is probably going to be PUBG. Later, nerds.